Well, I'd like to welcome you, Lieutenant Governor. Yes, here we can do it. But, you know, I met you first time at the Southern Maryland Ag Development Commission.
Yep.
And then I had the pleasure of introducing you at the Rural Maryland Convention.
Oh,
okay. It was about 16 months ago.
Okay.
And the theme of the convention was rural resilience. And I didn't think at that time that it would be about 4 months later and we would be going into lockdown and all the things that are with that.
Right.
So I just want to say the rural areas are a great part of the whole Maryland. We're here on Maryland Day. And because of Zoom, I've watched way more hearings than I've ever watched before. And a few weeks ago, I was listening to the Eastern Shore, and one of the things I picked up that I didn't know was in 2020, the Eastern Shore produced 570 million chickens. And in the middle of a pandemic, under very trying circumstances, the rural areas really stepped up. We've produced more meat in Southern Maryland, a lot of beef, a lot of pork. The Eastern Shore has done a great job, and we're just here to kind of celebrate for the fact that the rural areas were here to support suburbanites like me and the urban areas of Maryland. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, John, thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here with the Rural Maryland Council. As you mentioned several months ago, pre-pandemic, you kind of measure things pre-pandemic. When I was much younger, you would measure things, when you would look at apartments, particularly if you were in certain cities, they'd say pre-war. The building was built pre-war, meaning World War II. Now, I'm not that old, but now everything is pre-pandemic. But, the governor and I, very much appreciate the rural communities, our ag communities, the impact of the ag and the producers, the watermen, the aquaculture, and the related industries, the impact they have on the state, not just economically and job-wise. I mean, there are some 90,000 or more jobs that are directly affected. I believe it's even higher than that when you get to some of the ancillary businesses. But also, the individuals that are in these industries are protecting the environment, because they have to have a good environment to be able to get the resources from the land and the water, and to keep our open space, which is habitat for a lot of the wildlife. Some of the wildlife can be invasive, like the blue crab, the blue catfish over there, which the kids are going to think is crab cake when you start giving it to them in the schools. But at the same time, it's a significant impact on our state, both from a financial standpoint, but from an environmental impact, from a positive way. And so, the governor said when we came into office, the war on rural Maryland is over. And we continue that throughout our administration, and we believe that future administrations are going to learn the lessons that prior administrations didn't understand. But I think most Marylanders at this point do understand the importance. And the pandemic, I think, really showed it. Like you said, the production of food, from the standpoint being able to get food delivered, but also, as the secretary will tell you, the enjoyment of the great outdoors. People being shut in for periods of time, then made it a point to get out to our state parks, which many of them are in our rural communities. And so I just want to again say thank you to the rural Maryland and everything that you do, and continue to support your efforts. But thank you. And so I see some of the legislators are coming in. Those who do come over and grab your fish in a make sure they support you. Okay? Ask the question. You know, some of them don't. I see some of them walking away that don't. Saying that's good. But the ones who are coming in and eating, make sure they support your issues. Right, Delegate Branch?
That's right, sir.
He grew up on chicken farm.
I did.
Yes. So he understands. All right, thank you.
Well, they told me that they had to limit the amount of money I could spend on giving you a memento, but I found this on the internet and I got it for $11 if anybody's asking. And it's been up in my office for a few months. It's something that's been around, we've been paying attention to. And what I have here is maintain social distancing, keep a cow's distance apart, and I can assure you that when I take my cow to the grocery store, everybody stays 6 feet away.
All right, well, thank you. You know, I need to share a story then when you mention cows. I know you get somebody, or a politician talks all the time. We got a wonderful letter from a youngster a couple of years ago. And Heather, you know, we talk about it all the time. My family even talks about the letter that came in. And it's these two kids who had, you know, 4-H animals that they were taking to the fair. And unfortunately, it came in after the local fair had already passed. And they were inviting me to come and see their animals. And the youngest son, you know, at the end of his, you know, please come out, he said, Mommy said it's time to feed the cattle now, so bye. That's how he ended it. So when I get off the phone with my kids, that they're adults, they usually say, Mommy said it's time to feed the cattle now, so bye. But we're planning to go out to their farm in the very near future. We're making arrangements now to go out and see the kids. So, thank you. So I'll take this with me.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
You have a great day.
Okay, you too.